why that's had some attention. And this is just the year-over-year tax levy increases in the past 6 or 7 or 8 years.
Just go back and explain. You had made a comment about the rooms of the expansion and that that doesn't impact the tax levy because of a capital reserve. So,
yes.
I mean, at some point, did it impact it? Like, I guess I'm not understanding that.
Yes, so school districts, probably the same for municipalities. We can't carry cash like a company can. So you're allowed to have what do you call the
reserve.
You're allowed to have a reserve. Yeah, if I'm looking for the particular term, up to 2% of your budget, and that's for if there's a hurricane or your boiler goes kaput. Outside of that 2%, there are a couple of other areas where you can carry money year to year. One of them is in capital. So what this school district has done over time is that it has tried to stay close to it's tried to be frugal over the course of the year. And if there is 0.5% left in the budget or whatever dollar amount, it pushes that money, we push that money into capital reserve. And we try to build it up over time so that we can handle smaller projects, and this in the grand scheme of things, this would be considered a smaller project, as opposed to have to go out for a referendum.
So that's going to happen. Those expansions are going to happen because you have it's sort of like our surplus then now, like they're taking money sort of out of that.
No, it's a little bit different. We have a number of different funds, capital improvement fund, so it's more similar to that.
So we haven't asked a referendum in a while now, even though our enrollment continues to go up. And the reason for that is we've been trying to squeeze out whatever we can each year to get into capital so that we don't have to go and ask voters basically to pile on more debt.
How much money is in that capital budget after the 500?
Right now we have about $3 million there. And so one of the limitations to whether or not we could entertain a larger expansion is that they're expensive, and right now at this moment we don't have enough money unless the bids come in drastically different than we forecast to be able to make the expansion larger than the 4 rooms.
There's a philosophy that I think is a valid one, and I think you're taking it into consideration, but the people who if they have children coming into the school, it's not as pertinent as when the children have graduated, but there is a certain reticence for people to be funding out of today's taxes expenses down the road because they feel that they have little or no control once the budget's been passed as to how the school board is spending their money. You follow where I'm coming from? Why should I be paying, to put it that way, for something 5 years down the road if I'm not even going to be in the community, or if I'm no longer paid, if I'm still paying school taxes with no one in the school system? It's a valid point. I'm not complaining. I think the school system is what makes this community as fine as it is, and it certainly buoys our real estate values. But that's a valid question that I think has to be on the plate every time you talk to somebody for taxes.
I think that's fair. I think if we look at all of the taxes we pay, we directly benefit from some of them, we indirectly benefit from others. There might be things that the federal government does that I wish it wouldn't do, but I don't have a choice about where how my taxes or what my taxes are going to pay, if you will. I think that in terms of the question about building, our Board of Education and our administration has tried to stay away from compiling more debt and try to be a little bit more conservative and disciplined during each operating budget so that over time we could save enough money to take on these smaller sorts of projects and not have to go and obligate the communities with any more debt than we need to. I think the last significant referendum was in about 2005, if I'm not mistaken, and I think that was for Washington Avenue School and the middle school, but that was before my kind of administrative tenure. So In that time, in the last 8 years, we've grown a whole lot, and the high school certainly before 2 years ago hadn't had an addition since the 2001 school year. So we're trying to be prudent and responsible.
That's fair. I mean, Bailey's point is good, but it's also, it's somewhat short-sighted in the sense that you know you're going to have different things come up a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You're going to have to replace the roof at some point. And instead of getting hit with that all at one time, it would be nice to have the money, as you've done, set aside a cushion to handle these things.
And we'd always like
If
to
you
have
had more
more.
flexibility in budgeting for long-term capital projects, which you don't because the state won't allow it, it might make your life easier and less impact on the taxpayers after
Sure.
sure.
I think that's true. Well, I think that's pretty much the end of the presentation. The vote is on the 16th, and we're hoping the residents take the time to come out to the polls. And our fingers are crossed, and I really appreciate how much time you've given me tonight. I know that I lengthened your meeting.
We thank you for coming out, because it gives the residents another opportunity who might not have gone to the other 10 presentations that you offered, because it is the largest part of the budget. The majority of our tax dollars go to the schools. So I think people are need to understand how you guys are budgeting and the things that you're doing to try to keep things. The base budget is a little bit over the 2% cap. Certainly I think giving the question option, but then it does give the flexibility to the residents to decide how they would like to do it.
Nicole, Mike, from my standpoint, it's one of the best presentations I've ever seen made by the school.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And
thank you for saying that. And thank you, because our vice president of the board is sitting right over here, so I appreciate that comment.
I better say something because I said nothing. I want to say something before. Thank you very much, Mike. And I am proud to be in a school district where we're achieving the cost per pupil is quite low compared to other places, and our results educationally are superior. In fact, there's something today about our SATs again this year being better than, I think, anywhere in the area.
They were the highest in the county again.
And I just want to add that in a community like this, where the parents have high expectations, the kids have high expectations, and it's a difficult climate to cut any language arts early on. We all know that's a good idea, and that's great, but you can't do everything. And so it's sometimes you do have to make some tough calls. So I just want to say it's sometimes the thankless job, but we appreciate the job.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the job you do too.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just tack up my stuff. Don't mind me.
Are there opportunities for questions?
Well, we'll give you a second.
Are there opportunities for questions?
Questions of the township?
Public.
There's a period at the end for public commentary, yes. Unlike the school board, it has 2 questions. The township has 1, I believe. This is only my second township, so I'm not an expert.
Nice.
So, Laura, where's my paycheck? I've been sending you all this free stuff, free photos, free
You think I
articles.
have money to pay you?